Hi, and welcome to Rudy Sassu's Science Fantasy Experience, and my review of the Amazon exclusive Prime Wars trilogy, Power of the Primes, Punch Counterpunch figure. So I unboxed this guy 3 days ago, and I was like, I've got to get a review out of this ASAP. It didn't happen because I have not put this toy down for those 3 days. I have literally been playing with it every evening when I get back from work. It has been so much fun, and I cannot recommend this toy more so to anybody, even if you don't like Power of the Primes or Transformers. Even if you just wanted it as a toy, there is so much play value to be had with this toy. It's so enjoyable. Not only does it invoke the essence of the character or characters, being that he's a double spy, there's so much fun to be had with this. The only downside to my review is I don't have a G1 version of the figure to compare, but Patriot Prime Reviews does, and he has done a phenomenal review of this figure. His content in general is just really good, so I will drop a link to his channel and to his Counterpunch review so you can check out the comparisons for the G1 and just the overall channel for him. Hooah! So, onto my review. So, whenever you buy a Transformer, you always get a instruction manual, and thank God that this one was a really easy one to understand. It is done in a lovely black and white and grey scale with teal. I have had third-party toys in the past, and the instruction manual is incredibly difficult to understand, but this one, it's so easy just to get it from Punch back to his supercar mode, and then vice versa from alt mode to Punch. Although saying that, it's not as good as the Takara Legends instruction leaflets. They are glorious. I've got blurs right here, and it comes with a beautiful manga. So much fun. I can't, and obviously I don't speak Japanese, but it's the artwork is wonderful. It's just that added extra bit of something to a toy. The whole toy experience, it's something that we've lost along the way. I alluded to this in my G.I. Joe Action Force Let's Talk episode. Whenever you bought a toy back in the 80s and to the early 90s, you got, especially with G.I. Joe Action Force, you got the blueprints, and then you possibly got a poster, but you always got a little catalogue or a little leaflet which showed you the other toys in the wave or in the line, and they're always done in this beautiful diorama. It just gave you loads of aspirations to save up your pocket money or your birthday money, your Christmas money, or to put them on your Christmas, on your Father Christmas Santa Claus list to get those. And it's just something that we don't have now, and it saddens me slightly. But I digress. Let's get on to the toy. So it comes with a couple more accessories. It obviously comes with Primer Prime, his Prime Master, and it comes with his Prime Armour, as well as its gun. I'm going to come straight out with it. I'm not a fan of the Prime Master gimmick at all. I don't really have any connection to it, and it doesn't sadly interest me. But as I said before, it does offer a lot of extra play value for kids and adult collectors that are into that, or even if just a kid, you can add on the Prime Armour to each of the modes, and you can add the Prime Master to the Prime Armour. So yeah, let's have a look at those now. So we have got Primer Prime, and that has some wonderful translucent plastic. There's something about translucent plastic. I think it comes from my love of G2 toys. It's lovely, and you get some of the second wave of mask toys that the figures came with a hologram clone, and it was all done in translucent plastic. I love it. So, and for a small small toy. It's got an excellent bit of articulation, and obviously you can transform it relatively easy just to get it into its Prime Master mode. But the joy of this is that it can actually work with other figures. So I've got Takara Legends Blur here, and obviously you can take off his Titan Master and pop on the Prime Master instead. Yeah, so here we have Blur with Prime going on with his head, and obviously the same articulation happens. And as I say, it's not exactly for me, but it does offer that extra bit of play value. So we'll keep Blur close just so I can do a scale comparison later. And as I said, the Prime Master can fit into the Prime armor. So just remove the cover. Yeah, and in he goes. And as I said, you can pop that onto the alt mode. It just gives you that extra bit of play value that I was talking about, and a little bit of a nod to G1 Stunticons when you used to be able to add on their extra armaments. Not for me, but something there that you can do. And obviously it turns into a fist, which you can then use with your Combiner Wars figures. Either side. So yeah, just extra little accessories that make that toy experience that little bit more enriching, but sadly not for me. My main thing that excites me the most is obviously the figure. So let's get into its alt mode. So as you can see, it is a supercar. Obviously it was never going to be a Pontiac Ferrero again, just like the G1 self, but it does homage enough of the toy and the character by giving it the red alloys. And obviously it's got to be brought up into the modern era, so they have made it a supercar. But what I like about it is they've kind of popped in a front end of a Chevy or Chevrolet or a Corvette, with a little bit of Dodge Viper look going on. But then when you get to the rear, you've got kind of like an Audi TT. You've got the flowing, curving lines of a European supercar. So yeah, for me, it's a really great update. I'm thinking, is it a bit plain? But if my memory serves me correctly, the G1 toy was quite plain, and he was quite plain in the cartoon. And in the cartoon, he literally 30 seconds to a minute's worth of screen time, yet he had this huge positive impact on me, and I just think he's a really, really cool character. And he got a little bit extra in the fiction, in the comics as well, where he doesn't deal too well with his dual identity. So yeah, he rolls really well, and he has space for his gun underneath, which literally pops onto part of his shoulders. As you can see, Punch is clearly visible underneath. Visible robot syndrome underneath. But then again, who displays their toys like this in alt mode? Nobody. Well, I certainly don't anyway. So yeah, and once again, it doesn't actually impede the fact of rolling it. So yeah, let's give some scale comparisons. So we've got Cup here, just to give you an idea of scale. So yeah, they scale really well together. Just being that they were both in the Rebirth. So yeah, so let's move on to the alt mode. So you separate the legs. Mine's incredibly stiff. My toy's really, really stiff. Even though I've been playing it for the last couple of days, it's still incredibly tight joints. You fold out the roof. As you can see, there's Counterpunch is starting to be revealed with a fake windshield. I think that's just a really, really nice touch. And you can also see Punch's signature red hands. So yeah, and to bring the legs down, fold them down. Then you flip him over, and you're going to bring the windshields in, and then lift them up, and then fold the whole leg over. Click it into place, and that creates the legs. And it forms a very solid base, as he actually has no heel spurs or said feet. The feet are painted on, especially on the Counterpunch side. Remove his gun. Flip him back around again, and then you're going to separate the bonnet, the hood, and then this bit you fold towards yourself, then that folds in and up. Flip him back around, and you can see there's his Punch. Lift his head up so you can reveal his eyes. And that hides the back of Punch on there. For a bit of authenticity, you can flip down his insignia, and then to give him his Punch trademark look with the shoulders, as you can see, mine's extremely tight. You fold those down, and they literally just clip onto little pegs on the side. Do the same again on the other side. I think this one's even tighter. There we go. So you can have the shoulders in varying heights actually. I just want to clip in, there we go. And then you just pop his gun in. It's always a choice. Do you go gun in left hand or right hand? I think the picture has him in the right hand. And there we have Punch. And as you can see, he's got so much articulation. He's got knee bends, and legs are on ball joints. You know, he's got some articulation on the shoulders. You know, his head articulation. And you can get him in some incredibly dynamic poses. So yeah, let's see how he scales. As I said, we've got blur here. And as you can see, they scale wonderful together, absolutely wonderful. And some other scale comparisons. I've actually got a Masterpiece smokescreen here, just because I was literally dusting him this morning. And as you can see, scale's kind of close to Masterpiece scale, but obviously there's going to be like sort of a bit of a difference in plastic and quality there, but they do kind of scale to a point. And then obviously, as I mentioned before, you can pop his prime armor onto him. So you just open up his insignia, and there we have Punch with his prime armor on. As I said, it's not for me, but you know, it's just there for something else for you to do. So, since his insignia is flipped down, let's get him into Counterpunch mode. So I'm just going to remove the gun. Just hide the Punch face, flip him around again. Bring back his insignia. And then what you want to do is bring up the shoulder pads and flip them right around to give him that signature Counterpunch look, and then you just swivel the fist round for a bit of auto engineering to give him his blue punch hands. And again, same on here for his shoulder pads. And I'm now torn between how to display him. But do I display him in punch, counterpunch? There's something about the shoulders that I love, and the fake windshield. So yeah, again, it's just some of the dynamicism you can get with this figure is incredible. And then since we're near the shelf, let's put him with his Decepticon partners in crime. We have got G1, Wingspan, and Pounce, because Galvatron told him to check up on you two. So yeah, that has been Punch Counterpunch from Power of the Primes. As always, take care, and I'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye.